Welcome back to Inherited Dawn, a One Piece podcast.
We're breaking down the manga chapter by chapter, will by will.
And today we are on chapter 153, Hiriluk's Sakura. And Robin, I'm just going to say it, this is one of the all-time great goodbyes.
It's a very particular kind of farewell, one that starts with a threat of violence and ends with a miracle.
Kureha chasing Chopper out with scalpels is an all-timer, but the payoff is what this series is all about. If you want to make sure the next emotional nuke from Oda blooms right in your feed, find that follow button for us. You don't want to miss our breakdown of what comes next.
So the crew is ready to go. The Mary is stocked. They're just waiting.
Yeah, they're waiting on their new doctor. Everyone's on board, ready to set sail for Alabasta, but Chopper and Dr. Kureha are still up at the castle, and you get this feeling that this is the hard part, saying the final goodbye. It's easy to fight a tyrant king, it's easy to decide to join a crew. The hardest part is always closing the door on the life you knew.
And Oda lets that tension hang in the air for a moment, the quiet before the storm. Then Chopper says it. He tells her he's decided to become a pirate. He's joining Luffy.
And her reaction is not what you'd hope for at all. She immediately gets furious, starts yelling at him, calling him selfish after everything she's done for him. It's a complete 180 from the woman who was just calmly telling Dalton about Chopper's past.
It's a very specific kind of anger, though. She frames it as him throwing his life away on Hiriluk's hopeless dreams. She's not attacking Chopper's decision to leave. She's attacking the foundation of his entire worldview.
That line is a gut punch, man, because from Chopper's perspective, Hiriluk's dream is everything. It's the thing that gave him hope, that gave him a name, that made him want to see the world. And Kureha, the other person who raised him, the one who taught him actual medicine, is just trashing it. It's like your two parents getting a divorce and one of them telling you everything the other one ever told you was a lie.
It's a calculated cruelty. She knows that's his biggest insecurity. Is he just the foolish legacy of a foolish man? Was his life's inspiration a sham? She zeroes in on that doubt because it's the most effective weapon she has.
And then she starts using literal weapons. She immediately starts chasing him. It's played a little for laughs with him running in terror, but the words she's throwing at him are just devastating. Get out of my sight, ungrateful brat.
The comedy of the scene is a mask for the emotional violence taking place. He's running from her, yes, but he's also running from her words, from the possibility that she might be right.
She's literally throwing weapons at him. He has to make a run for it, and he grabs her sled and just bolts for the drum ropeway where the Straw Hats are waiting. This isn't a fond farewell. It's an escape. He's being exiled, or so it seems.
The crew sees him coming, this tiny reindeer on a sled, being pursued by a 140-year-old doctor with an axe. Imagine being Nami in this moment. You've just survived a life-threatening illness, you've seen your captain perform an impossible feat, and now this is how you're acquiring a doctor. It's perfectly on brand for the Straw Hats.
It is pure chaos. It's this beautiful, frantic 2-page spread. They have no choice but to just jump on the sled with him as it flies past. There's no time for a calm, collected departure. They are literally fleeing for their lives from their new crewmate's mom. It's got this Looney Tunes energy on the surface, but the undercurrent is so incredibly sad.
And as they're going down the ropeway, we get inside Chopper's head. The frantic comedy of the escape fades, and we're left with his internal monologue. He's completely torn.
This is the part that gets me every time. He's wondering if he made a mistake. Did he just betray the woman who taught him everything he knows about medicine? Is she right? Was Hiriluk just a fool with a hopeless dream? He's looking back at the castle, the only other home he's ever known, and thinking he just burned that bridge in the worst way possible.
It's the ultimate crisis of faith for him. The two pillars of his entire life, Hiriluk, the dreamer, and Kureha, the pragmatist, are suddenly in direct opposition. He has to choose who to believe in, and for his entire life, they've been in harmony. Hiriluk gave him the why, the heart. Kureha gave him the how, the skill. Now, the how is telling him the why was worthless.
And from his point of view, Kureha is the pragmatist. She's the real doctor, the one with the skills that actually save lives day to day. Hiriluk was the one blowing things up in his lab for 30 years. It's so easy to see why he'd be questioning everything right now. He's a creature of science, and Kureha is the master of it. Her opinion carries immense weight.
That's the entire conflict of Drum Island, in a way. The cynical, selfish pragmatism of Walpole versus the seemingly foolish, hopeful dream of Hiriluk. Walpole believed a country is controlled by force and fear. Hiriluk believed a country is cured by healing its heart. Chopper is living that conflict in this moment. Is the world a cold, hard place like Kureha is presenting it, or is there room for a grand, impossible dream?
And then Oda cuts back to the castle, and everything changes. The music in your head just shifts from frantic and sad to something transcendent.
Kureha is standing there with Dalton, watching the sled disappear down the mountain. The chase is over.
And her whole demeanor just shifts. The anger is gone. The scowl is gone. She's calm. She lights a cigarette, and she tells Dalton the truth.
I hate sad goodbyes.
That's it. That's the whole key. It wasn't anger at all. It was love. It was the most profound, gut-wrenching, selfless love. She couldn't bear to have a tearful, drawn-out farewell with the son she raised. The "stay safe, I'll miss you" right to me. She couldn't do it.
So she manufactured a crisis. She gave him a reason to run without looking back. She chose to be the villain in his story for a moment so that he wouldn't have the pain of leaving her. It's an act of emotional surgery. The goodbye is a wound, and she chose to make a quick, clean cut rather than a ragged tear.
It's such an incredible piece of character writing. It recontextualizes everything she just did. Every harsh word, every thrown weapon was her way of saying, I love you, now go have your adventure. She gave him a push, the biggest, meanest push she could, so he wouldn't hesitate, so he wouldn't have any regrets about leaving her behind.
It's a very abrasive, almost tsundere way of showing affection, but it's completely in character for her. Her love is expressed through action, teaching him medicine, caring for him, and ultimately setting him free in the only way she knows how.
But underneath it, she's carrying on Hiriluk's will just as much as Chopper is. She was the secret keeper, the one who really understood both sides of Chopper's upbringing. And then she gives the order, the moment that elevates this from a great chapter to an all-time chapter.
She tells Dalton that the preparations she asked the villagers for are complete, and we see these cannons, the ones Walpole used to threaten his own people, are all pointed up at the sky. They're the very symbol of his tyrannical rule.
She tells them to fire, and the whole island wakes up to the sound of cannon fire. Think about the PTSD of these villagers. Their first thought is that Walpole is back. It's a moment of pure panic. We see them jolting awake, scared for their lives. Oda makes you feel their fear for a panel.
The sound that once signified their oppression is roaring across the valley again. It's a deliberate choice. She's not just putting on a show, she's exorcising a demon. She is taking the sound of their fear and transforming it.
But then they look up, and they see it. The whole country looks up.
The cannons weren't filled with cannonballs. They were filled with the pink powder from Hiriluk's research, the culmination of 30 years of failure and belief stored away by Kureha.
The dust shoots into the clouds, and as the snow falls, it's not white anymore. It's pink. It's a soft, gentle, impossible pink.
The entire sky, the entire landscape is filled with pink snow that looks exactly like falling cherry blossom petals. The impossible has been made real.
Hiriluk Sakura. He did it. Or rather, she did it for him. She took his life's work, the thing she called a hopeless dream just minutes ago, and made it real for the entire island to see. She turned her ultimate insult into the ultimate tribute.
She gave Chopper the most beautiful farewell gift imaginable. She showed him that Hiriluk's dream wasn't hopeless at all. It was the cure. She was testing him, and now she's giving him the answer, and the answer is, you're right to believe.
Bro, the shot of Chopper on the sled, tears just streaming down his face as he looks up at the sky, it's perfect. It's one of Oda's best drawn panels. The shock, the dawning realization, the overwhelming flood of emotion, all his doubts are just washed away in that moment. He understands. He understands Kureha, he understands Hiriluk, he understands his path.
The will was inherited. Hiriluk wanted to make a Sakura bloom to cure the country's heart. He believed that there is no disease that cannot be cured. He saw this sickness in the hearts of the people of Drum, a sickness of apathy and fear caused by Wapol, and this was his prescription. Kureha fulfilled that wish, and in doing so, she cured Chopper's heart, his doubt, and set him on his own journey.
It's the ultimate validation. It wasn't a devil fruit that saved this country's soul. It wasn't a magical power. It was science and a dream and the love these two doctors had for a little reindeer monster. That is super. It's one of the most powerful thematic statements in the whole series. Sometimes the greatest miracles are man-made.
Think about this symbolism. A cherry blossom in Japanese culture is a powerful symbol of mono no aware, the beauty and the fleeting nature of life. Hiriluk lived that. His life was short after his diagnosis, but it was beautiful, and he left something incredible behind. He bloomed brilliantly, and then he was gone.
And he didn't even get to see it. Kureha did it for him. She's the one who held on to his research for all those years, who knew exactly what it was. She probably could have done this at any time, so why now? Why this exact moment?
Because it serves multiple purposes at once. It's a farewell to Chopper, it's a tribute to Hiriluk, and it's a new beginning for the nation. She waited for the perfect moment, for the moment it would mean the most. It's the birth of a new era heralded by the fulfillment of an old dream. Had she done it earlier, it would have just been a neat trick. Now, after Wapol's defeat, it's a declaration of freedom.
It's the perfect ending for this arc. The man who gave everything to save a country he loved finally gets his miracle, and the son he inspired gets to see it as he sets off to fulfill his own dream. It ties everything together so perfectly. The Jolly Roger with the Sakura petals, it all makes sense. That wasn't just a flag, it was a promise. It was Hiriluk's last will and testament.
Dalton sees it too. The whole country sees it. I have to think they have a new name for their home now. The Drum Kingdom is gone. It was named for the shape of the mountains. This is the Sakura Kingdom. It's named for its soul.
Absolutely. And it's a kingdom founded on hope, not fear. That's the legacy Hiriluk left and that Kureha cemented into history. This is one of the most emotionally complete payoffs Oda has ever written. Every single plot thread and character motivation in this arc culminates in this one beautiful, impossible image.
So where does this leave Kureha? She's now the de facto guardian of this nation's health and history. She's passed the torch to Chopper to go out into the world, while she remains to tend the flame at home.
She's in charge. Dalton might be the political leader, but she's the soul of the place now, the keeper of the flame. I just love that her last act for Chopper wasn't a tearful hug. It was a massive act of scientific pyrotechnics that honored the man who brought them together. It's so much more meaningful than a simple, "I'll miss you."
It's her saying, I believe in his dream too. Now go live yours, without ever having to say the words. It's a communication of pure action.
Exactly. It's all action. It's all proof. And for Chopper, that's all he needed. He is a Straw Hat Pirate 100%, no doubts left. He's leaving home not with a sense of loss, but with the greatest gift he could have ever received, the proof that his father was a great man.
Speaking of the author, Oda's comment this week was interesting.
Oh yeah? What'd he say?
He mentioned getting the log pose toy from Bandai and playing with it so much he made his muscles sore.
That's amazing. Even Oda himself is a huge nerd for his own world. You love to see it. He's just having fun, and that fun translates into chapters like this. He's not just crafting a story. He's living in the world he built, playing with the toys just like a fan would.
It's a good reminder that behind these huge emotional moments, there's an author who is just deeply enjoying the process of creation. The sense of wonder we feel as readers is a direct reflection of the wonder he feels as the creator.
You can feel it on every page. The love he has for these characters is baked into every scene, especially a farewell like this one. Just incredible. It's a masterclass in how to say goodbye.
It sets a high bar for farewells. Every time a Straw Hat leaves their home is a major event. This one is going to be hard to top.
For sure. Usopp's was chaotic and driven by a lie he had to make true. Sanji's was bittersweet and full of unspoken gratitude. But this was a national event, a literal miracle performed as a going-away present.
It makes you wonder what kind of farewells we have yet to see. Each one has to be unique to the character joining.
Oh man, don't even get me started. We still have your story to get to, and who knows who else is going to join. Their farewells are still shrouded in mist. But that's a story for another day. For now, Chopper is on the crew, and they're headed for Alabasta.
A kingdom of sand, waiting for a savior. A stark contrast to this island of snow. They are trading a land with too much water, in its frozen form, for a land with not enough.
And a whole new set of problems. They have a doctor now, but they're sailing right into the heart of a secret war orchestrated by a warlord of the sea. Things are about to get a lot more complicated. Let's get into what might happen when they get there.
We'd be interested to hear what you think Hiriluk's flag really means in the grand scheme of things. Let us know your theories in the comments section below. Do you think the idea of curing the hearts of a nation will come up again?
All right, predictions for chapter 154. What do you have for me, Robin?
First, I think we will see the crew officially welcome Chopper. We haven't had the proper toast yet, the sake cups. I expect a formal ceremony, as formal as the Straw Hats get anyway. Luffy will declare it, there will be a party, and Chopper will be officially integrated.
I like that, the proper induction. He's been through the ringer. He deserves his party. Okay, my turn. I'm gonna say we get a check-in with Ace. We haven't seen him in a bit, and he's hunting Blackbeard. I think we'll get a short scene of him on the trail, maybe on a different island, hearing a rumor or finding a clue that points him in the right direction. It's time to remind the audience of that ticking clock.
That's a good pull. The Blackbeard thread from this arc needs to be followed up on. His attack on Drum is what drove Wapol from the island in the first place, after all. For my second prediction, I believe we'll see Vivi again, and she will be reacting to the news from Nami that they've secured a doctor. That was her primary concern. Her relief will be immense, but it will immediately pivot to the urgency of getting to Alabasta.
Oh, that's solid. We need to see her relief. She's been carrying the weight of Nami's illness and the delay, so seeing that lifted will be a key character moment. For my second one, I think we're going to see Mr. 2 Bon Clay for the first time. We're getting close to Alabasta. Baroque Works is mobilizing, and it feels like time for him to make his grand theatrical entrance. Maybe his ship passes them, or they find a transponder snail call from him.
A powerful and unpredictable agent. His devil fruit, the clone fruit, is perfect for the espionage and subterfuge of the Alabasta conflict. That could certainly complicate their journey. For my final prediction, I think we will see Dalton giving a speech to the people of the former Drum Kingdom, officially renaming it the Sakura Kingdom, cementing the legacy and giving the arc its final official capstone.
Yeah, making it official. I love it. A nice little epilogue for the island. Okay, for my last one, a bit of a wild card here, I think Miss All Sunday is going to appear on the Going Merry, uninvited, just there, waiting for them. We know she can be anywhere. She knows where they're going. I think she's going to show up to deliver a cryptic warning or an offer, just to mess with them. That's the kind of move she'd pull.
A direct confrontation. That would certainly raise the stakes immediately. To have the second in command of their enemy just appear on their ship would be a massive power play. What do you suppose her motive would be?
I think she's testing them, seeing if Luffy is really the man she thinks he might be. She's playing her own game, and the Straw Hats are a new, interesting piece on the board. She wants to see how they react when she puts them in check, right? No more hiding, just her on their ship in the middle of the ocean.
We will see which of these futures comes to pass. An interesting set of possibilities.
Can't wait to find out. We want to thank you all for listening to our breakdown of one of the all-time great chapters. It's been an emotional one. Join us next time as we set a course for the Desert Kingdom of Alabasta. We'll see you all next time.